Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise, and in this one we are continuing with the demo weapon previews, and this time we're turning our attention to the longsword, everybody's favourite anime weapon. And this one is actually incredibly cool. I'll be honest, it's one of those weapons where when I first tried it in Rise, there were a couple of things that I sort of didn't necessarily click with to begin with, but having now done a few hunts with it and actually learned the nuance behind it, I actually really like the way that these moves behave. So in this video, I want to go over what has changed. In truth, for the longsword, not a great deal, but there are still a few things that are definitely worth talking about. So if you do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know how you guys are getting on with the demo. Of course, be sure to keep it locked because we are going to be talking about every single weapon individually. We have so many videos planned, so if you're hyped for the game, then keep it locked. And again, let us know how you guys are getting on. But let's talk about the longsword. So in terms of behavior, generally speaking, it is very familiar to what you'll already know. I mentioned this in the hunting horn video, where a lot of weapons have used World as basically their base foundation for their moves. So a lot of the things that you know to be true in World will largely speaking be true in Rise. You still have all of your typical moves, you have the newly added EI slash, the EI counter, all that good stuff. So behavior wise, it is very similar. And it's not like Hunting Horn that has basically completely been reworked. This one is still pretty much traditional longsword. The one most noteworthy thing you need to know about is the change to Helm Splitter. If you cast your mind back to World or Iceborne, you will of course know that the traditional Helm Splitter, once you have of course got the necessary meter, ideally red charge, you would then initiate this move, which would then launch you into the sky and have you come crashing down in a very sort of anime fashion, dealing multiple hits in the process. Now that in and of itself still exists in Rise, but the way you initiate it is different. You can no longer do this from the ground. If you press that button prompt, that would of course typically have triggered it in the past, R2 and triangle, or in the case of the Switch controller, ZR and X, you will instead just get a wide spirit slash. You simply cannot do that move from the ground. It is now tied to your Silkbind attack, the one that is called Soaring Kick. This one you activate by pressing ZL and X, and it uses the Y bug to launch you into a jump kick, and if it connects, this will then perform a plunging thrust. Now this is the part you need to understand the difference between, because if you just land the plunging thrust, which is a lesser version, you basically, stab your sword downwards, you get a couple of hits, you see the blue numbers, and what will actually happen is it will then fill up your spirit meter in blue, in the same way that if you land an EI slash, you will also get that, which is the auto refill, which is great for, performing spirit attacks so that you can then level up your spirit gauge. However, if you want to perform the traditional Helm Splitter, following this input, following the leap off the monster, you need to press ZR, and if you do that, it'll then perform a Spirit Helm Breaker. This costs 1 level of your spirit gauge in a more traditional manner. Now it's worth noting the discernible difference here is that if you perform the plunging thrust, it does not cost spirit gauge, so you can do this as many times as you want, because of course the main benefit of this is that it puts your meter into auto refill, again the same way that EI slash would. However, if you do want to do the more powerful Helm Splitter, you then have to press ZR. Of course, on the opposite side of things, you have the Serene Pose as another one of your Silkbind moves. This is kind of like a counter, and you assume this position, and if you take a hit while your weapon is ready, you will swiftly lead into a counter attack. This one costs 2 wire bugs as opposed to 1, so it is one of the more high commitment moves. Now, for the most part, that is largely speaking it. However, there is one notable difference as well. If you perform the EI Sheath, you will of course remember from Iceborne, if you then perform an EI Spirit Slash and you miss, it actually costs 1 meter of your spirit gauge. However, in Rise, the change is that it does not cost. If you simply perform this and you do not hit anything, it does not waste your meter. So it's a little bit more forgiving in that respect. But apart from that, that's pretty much all there is to it in Rise. Everything else is largely speaking what you know from World and Iceborne, so if you are a big fan of longsword and you kind of like use that as your main, then you will for the most part feel pretty at home. The main thing you need to get used to is of course using the wire bug with your weapon in order to make the most of the Helm Splitter. Anyway, as with the other video, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of gameplay against some monsters, just to sort of show you some extended longsword gameplay, so enjoy this. And also, if you want to catch some more gameplay, both myself and the rest of the Arekkz Gaming team, we're also uploading some more videos, some just kind of general hunts and stuff to both 269 and Paradise Central's channels. So what I've done is I've compiled a playlist of all of our videos from the Rise demo, so if you want to basically just watch all of that and binge a load of stuff, then you can check that out, linked down below.
Amazing! Amazing!
If you want to catch more from us at Arekkz Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys 269, Paradise Central and Investmore streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below, and of course you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.